Most people walk into a data analyst interview having studied the wrong things. They memorize theory, they practice questions that never come up, and they freeze when the interviewer asks something simple but unexpected. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact SQL and Excel questions that actually get asked in 2026 with the answers interviewers are looking for. Let's get into it. Before we get into the questions, you need to understand what interviewers are actually evaluating. It's not whether you memorized syntax. It's three things. Can you write a query under pressure? Can you work fast and accurately in Excel? And can you explain your thinking clearly to a non-technical person? Keep that in mind as we go through every question. Question 1. And this comes up in almost every interview. What is the difference between where and having? Here's the answer. Where filters rows before any grouping happens. Having filters after group by, so it works on aggregated results. Here's the classic example. If you want customers who spent more than $500, you use where. But if you want cities where the total revenue is more than $10,000, you use having, because that's a grouped result. Most candidates get this wrong or give a vague answer. Be specific. Show the interviewer you know exactly when to use each one. Question 2. Explain the different types of joins. This is asked in nearly every SQL interview at every level. There are 4 you need to know. Inner join returns only rows that have matching values in both tables. Left join returns all rows from the left table plus any matches from the right. Unmatched rows show as null. Right join is the opposite. Full join returns all rows from both tables regardless of whether there's a match. The one interviewers love to test is left join because it's the most commonly used in real analysis work. Know it cold. Question 3. Write a query to find duplicate records in a table. This is a practical question that tests whether you can actually solve a real problem. The answer uses group by and having together. Select name, count star, as count from customers. Group by name, having count star greater than 1. This groups every name, counts how many times it appears, and then filters to only show names that appear more than once. Those are your duplicates. Simple, clean, and exactly what interviewers want to see. Question 4. This one separates beginners from intermediate candidates. Have you used window functions? What are they? A window function performs a calculation across a set of rows that are related to the current row, without collapsing them into a single result like group by does. The most common one is rank. Select name, purchase amount, rank open parenthesis, close parenthesis, over order by purchase amount, DESC, or descending, as rank from customers. This ranks every customer by how much they spent without removing any rows from the result. If you can explain and write a window function in an interview, you instantly stand out from most candidates. Now let's switch to Excel. Question 5. What is the difference between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP? This comes up constantly. VLOOKUP can only look to the right of your key column. If you insert or delete columns, it breaks because it uses a hard-coded column number. XLOOKUP fixes all of that. It can look left or right, it doesn't break when columns move, and it handles errors more gracefully. The answer interviewers want to hear is, I prefer XLOOKUP in modern Excel because it's more flexible and less fragile, but I know VLOOKUP for older files and legacy systems. Question 6. How would you use a pivot table to summarize sales data by region? This is the most practical Excel question you'll face. Here's how to answer it. Select your data range, insert a pivot table, drag region into rows, drag sales into values, and set it to sum, not count, drag it to sum, then sort descending to see the top performing regions at the top. What interviewers are really testing is whether you can work quickly and accurately under time pressure with the tool most non-technical stakeholders actually use every day. Practice this until it takes under 60 seconds. Question 7. How do you find and remove duplicates in Excel? There are 3 ways, and knowing all 3 shows depth. First, count if formula. Add a helper column with equals count if, select the full column, comma, select the current cell. Any value greater than 1 is a duplicate. Second, conditional formatting. Select the range, go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, duplicate values. Third, the Remove Duplicates tool under the Data tab. But always work on a copy of your data first, because this method permanently deletes rows. Interviewers love when you mention that last warning. It shows you think about data integrity. Those are the 7 questions that actually get asked. Here's your action plan. Practice the SQL questions on HackerRank or LeetCode. Practice the Excel questions on a real data set. Download anything from Kaggle and work through it. And if you haven't watched my SQL beginner tutorial yet, start there. The link is in the description. Subscribe for more interview prep, Excel, and SQL tutorials every week. I'll see you in the next one.